What's up guys, I'm Bob Tompkins with the Living in SC team at Real Broker, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode of Living in SC, we're gonna be talking about the pros and cons of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Now, before we get into that, our team would love to be a resource for you if you're thinking about making a move to South Carolina. You can reach out to us at the number listed below or shoot us an email at info@livinginsc.com, and we would love to connect with you. But without any further ado, let's get right into the pros and cons of Spartanburg, South Carolina. So first on my list of pros and cons is the weather. Now, if you've seen some of our other videos on the upstate of South Carolina, the weather is a common thing that gets brought up in these videos. And that's because if you're moving from another area, the weather is a high priority thing. You wanna know, what's it gonna be like when I'm moving somewhere? And when you're moving to Spartanburg, the weather is one of the better things about South Carolina and this part of the state in general. So in Spartanburg, you're looking at an area that really does give you the opportunity to experience all 4 seasons, but with a little bit warmer of a climate. So if you're coming from somewhere colder, maybe up north, and you don't want the same sort of harsh winter, you have the opportunity to get that. But if you're coming from somewhere warmer, let's say Florida, and you want to be able to experience all 4 seasons, you are going to get that without the harsh, cold winters that you may have up north. And because Spartanburg is further north in the state of South Carolina, you're actually going to have the opportunity to experience a more full winter. I say that because if you get into some of the more southern areas, if you're making your way towards Columbia, or if you're down 85 towards Anderson, which are both a little bit more southern, the opportunity to get a snowstorm or 2 over the course of the year is way less likely the further south you go. But of course, that's no guarantee because we are in South Carolina, and snow, while it does happen here and there, is not a given every single year. Alternatively to that, when we think about summer, summers in South Carolina can get hot. You are in the South, it is humid here, so July and August can be very hot months. But Spartanburg is much cooler to other areas of the state. In fact, Spartanburg actually comes in about 6 to 8 degrees cooler on average temperature when you compare it to a place like Columbia, South Carolina. So being a little bit further north and having a little bit more elevation where you live in Spartanburg does have the benefit of a little bit cooler summer than some of the rest of the state. That being said, if you're in South Carolina, the spring and the fall seasons are literally to die for. As I'm filming this video, we are right in the middle of fall, and we're looking at a day that has highs of about 75 degrees. And you really can't ask for better weather than that, when I know some of my colleagues that are in northern states are currently dealing with 45 to 50 degree temperatures on the regular right now. So if you're thinking about weather being a big deciding factor in where you move, Spartanburg is a great place for you. So next on my list of pros and cons is the location of Spartanburg. Now, Spartanburg is a very conveniently located place if you need access to several other areas in the Southeast. If you're needing access to Greenville, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, or Asheville, North Carolina, Spartanburg allows you to be within an hour and a half of all of these. Now, Asheville and Columbia are both just north of an hour, Greenville's about 30 minutes, and then Charlotte is about an hour and a half. But it does give you good regional access to all of these different areas, but that does come with a con. Spartanburg is a heavy growth area. A lot of people are moving to the area, and because it's centrally located with all of those cities where I-26 and I-85 cross, there's a lot of construction and traffic can get backed up because there's a lot of commerce that goes across those interstates. So if you visit Spartanburg, it is not uncommon when you're going into Greenville to get backed up around Pelham Road and to really experience some tough travel right there. Also, if you're making your way to Charlotte on I-85, there is just loads and loads of construction, which does make the interstate very congested. So while the location is a massive plus and it does give you good access to these other areas, there is the nuisance of if you're not traveling to those areas and you're just trying to make your way around town, Spartanburg can be a frustrating place to live at times. But as you learn the area and you kind of learn some back roads and some ways around that traffic, it does become a great place to kind of travel through and get from point A to point B. Now, coming in next on my list of pros and cons is the hospital system for Spartanburg. As ranked by US News World and Report, the Spartanburg Medical Center is actually ranked 4th in the state of South Carolina, and that's a huge plus for people that may need access to medical care. Being able to be conveniently located to a great hospital does put you in a good position no matter what phase of life you're in, whether it's you're younger and you're thinking about having kids, or if you're older and you need access to good medical care as you continue to age. Having access to a great hospital system is always a big positive. The only negative with that hospital system is Spartanburg County is very big. So if you end up living like in the north part of Lyman, or if you're on the eastern part of Moore, getting to the hospital system can take a little bit more time. So it may be an important thing to you when looking at a place to live to make sure you're finding a location that is nearby to that hospital if that is something that is very important to you. Because it is important to remember that South Carolina, while we are developing and growing in a lot of these areas, there are still a lot of areas that are very rural and can require a decent commute in to get to a hospital system. Now guys, this has been our video on the pros and cons of Spartanburg, South Carolina. If you'd like more information on Spartanburg and what some other pros and cons may be, please reach out to our team at the number listed below or at info@livinginsc.com. Again, we would love to connect with you and be a resource for your move to the state of South Carolina. Again, my name is Bob Tompkins with the Living in SC team at Real Broker. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, check out some of our other videos, and we'll see you next time on Living in South Carolina.